What's up, Warriors of Goku? Welcome back to another Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires video. And real quick, I decided to do the big brain thing and actually decide to pre-record my gameplay and then talk about my character instead of like just doing it in the midst of me actually trying to make words and fight at the same time, which doesn't work out too well. And I actually also did another big brain thing. I made a list of things that I should do to introduce this character. So obviously first, the top thing that we need to do is introduce her. Who is she? So this is a very, very important character to my story for those of you who are unaware. I have made a story with these characters in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, and actually even went beyond these characters in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires and even made characters with more modern looks and everything like that. This story is called The Hybrid's Tale. So if you can see at the bottom right, that boy right there with the white hair, that is called Light. Yes, I named him after my YouTube / gamertag / PSN use whatever. But yes, that is Light. Light is the main character of The Hybrid's Tale because he himself is a hybrid. I'm just saying this because I know it's been a while since I did any kind of like background character or showcase characters for my story. So I just want to get you all up to speed with that. He is the main character of my story. So throughout the entirety of it, he's pretty much just there for every single part. Now what I mean by that, he is going to be the main character of part 1, and then part 2 is going to have another main character, which we are about to show off, and then another main character in part 3 and 4, and so on and so forth. I'm saying that, but there's only 4 parts. But yeah, so he is the main character of part 1 of The Hybrid's Tale, and then like I said, he does go through every other part of the story, but there are new main characters to be in the spotlight for that. So that is who we are showing off today, and that character we are showing off today is the lovable airhead, gearhead girl, Maeko. Maeko is part of the part 2 of my Hybrid's Tale. She is the main character. So, like I mentioned, she's a bit of an airhead. She really does like using, like, when she's around like blacksmithing stuff or like technology stuff, she always goes nerd. She always nerds out and everything. So, and she is always striving to be the top contender of her school and the top contender warrior and all that stuff. Because she has a very big drive to be just like her role model, which is Light. Which Light at this point is around his 40s, and so Maeko is around 16 years old. She's pretty much she's a teenager and all that stuff. And like Light, she does also branch out into the other parts of the story as well. But this is the time that she is in right now is pretty much just a it's a mixture of like we're slowly getting into the modern, but we're mostly in more of a steampunk kind of thing. The technology in my timeline for my story is a little bit interesting and different. Like, we don't involve like weaponry like guns and everything like that because I want to be able to have that kind of fist fight or like weapon to weapon kind of fights instead of just like, hey, I'm going to shoot you. Like, I find that to be kind of boring and dull and overdone. So I kind of lean away towards the gun and stuff like that. And we have it to where they're more like hands-on with like spears, pikes, tonfas, and everything like that. Even when we get into more modern times, guns may start being produced, but they're not going to be really used in my story like at all. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much the timeline she's in and everything. So let's start off with what she's like with the upbringing in her family. So the upbringing for her actually isn't really that great. So, and it's really not because of like anything super tragic or anything. I mean, it's tragic for the family, but the really bad thing about her for her rough upbringing is mostly her family background. Her background mostly being her father. Her father is a long-time, big-time criminal in the country that Light and Kuno pretty much reside in right now. So, with that, because of all the heinous acts that he acted as a criminal and everything like that, it made a really tough upbringing for Maeko and her mother. So, excuse me, I also like losing my voice for some reason. But yeah, so because of that, she is, whenever Maeko was around other kids or even adults for that matter, she would get ridiculed, she would get neglected, she would get like really bad stares and everything like that. She would be treated like a really horrible outcast or even as a criminal. Simply because her father, which in ways makes sense, but still a little rough to do on a kid. But she pretty much just had a really tough time with trying to get along with anyone. She had such a hard time making friends and all that stuff because of her father, and so her upbringing was incredibly tough. Nonetheless, though, this is a character with a lot of hope and a lot of ambition and a lot of drive, and because she has a role model like Light to look up to, who also kind of had a rough upbringing at first, she thinks she can persevere through this and, of course, be able to reach her dreams, to be able to be a warrior of very well-renowned and very well-respected like Light is. She doesn't have any goals to be like an empress or anything like that. She really wants to just be able to be that kind of person, to be able to protect those that she cares about, especially those that she doesn't even know. She really has that kind of pure heart to her. So because of this, we have because we're now more in a peaceful time because of how Light's story ended. We are now in a part where people, like, let's take Modern Life for example real quick. With Modern Life, you still have, when you're in school, you still have opportunities to take military branches in your schooling, so like Army, Navy, anything like that. So that's pretty much what we have here as well. So we have a Warriors branch for schooling for kids who want to be able to become a warrior when they grow up. And Maeko, without hesitation, said, that is exactly what I want to be, because I want to be like Light. I want to be able to protect all of those and give hope to those people if we ever come into times of chaos or something like that once again. So because of that, she pleads with her mother, regardless of how kids feel about her or any other teacher. She wants to be able to enroll in this school and enroll in this program. So reluctantly, of course, her mother is like, I don't know if this is the best thing for you, but I'll do what you want and try to make that happen. Of course, though, the teachers and the people, and the main teacher, who is going to be Kuru, she is going to be incredibly reluctant to put Maeko in this program, because she doesn't want her to end up like her father does. Because she doesn't know much about Maeko. She doesn't really know much. None of the teachers really know much about her, because they always neglected her because of how she was brought up with her father, and and all that stuff. So Kuru at first very reluctant, but Maiko's mother is able to convince Kuru, just give her one chance. If anything bad happens, kick her out, and then I'll have to take care of her for the rest of my life. So Kuru, with reluctance, was able to do that, was able to allow Maeko to take part in this Warriors program. Kuru is pretty much just like the main teacher for every single student in that program. But then, of course, they also have other instructors and everything, where they eventually pair them off in groups of 4 with a mentor. And Light, apparently, unfortunately for him, he thinks, because, like, fuck, I don't want to be a mentor, I don't want to be a teacher or anything, but Kuno is making him do this, and Kuru as well. So he ends up actually being the mentor for 4 characters. One, obviously, is being Maeko, which Maeko is incredibly ecstatic about. Then there is Hikaru, which is the son of Light, and Shine, and then there is Hinata, which is the daughter of Light and Haruna, and then there is Itsuki, which is going to be Maiko's rival throughout pretty much the whole entire rest of the story. So at first, everything is pretty rocky. I mean, she gets along with Hikaru and Hinata pretty well, but Itsuki is a completely different story, with them both always butting heads and everything, because Itsuki is thinking just because her father was all that and a criminal and everything, like she thinks that she's all that, she's all cool, she's all like badass and everything, and she's the best because of how amazing her father was, like combat-wise. She's going to be the same way. But of course, Itsuki, because of that, ends up being pretty harsh to her and towards her, and they both end up getting into this kind of rivalry and everything, which I actually really do like. And that pretty much just ends up to where eventually he finds out, once they get into a bit of a brawl, that Maeko eventually ends up having revealed to him her goals and dreams, and that how much she respects Itsuki for all the hard work and stuff that he does in order to be that top contender like Maeko wants to be. So their relationship ends up getting really, really more like in sync with one another. They both end up becoming really good teammates. They both end up becoming really amazing friends and everything. They don't become lovers or anything like that. No, nothing like that. Maeko actually already does have another character that I will show off later on that ends up becoming her lover and everything, and they end up becoming lovers like throughout the entirety of the story, like I keep saying, and all that jazz. But Maiko's really, like I've mentioned, Maiko's really big dream is just to become that kind of person that Light was when he was able to be what he is now. Very respectable warrior, incredibly respected by everyone, cherished and loved by everyone. Like, she wants to be able to get that acknowledgement that she didn't get when she was very young. She's been busting ass and trying to train as much as she can in order to be that kind of person. She trains herself mentally, she trains herself physically as much as she can in order to get that kind of recognition from everyone else, especially her teachers, because her teachers, if she doesn't get that recognition from the teachers, then it's going to be a very tough life for her, because she's going to have a hard time trying to move up in the ranks and everything once she's able to graduate and become more of a warrior. Now, of course, because of all this, a new threat does end up showing up to this, and it is actually going to be the son of the main antagonist of Light's part. So that is what Maeko and the rest of her team is going to be, pretty much just brawling out throughout the story and everything like that. And we'll eventually have her like shown as like, oh my god, this character actually is like getting more and more respected as she does like more of these crazy things to protect all the innocent people and everything. So yeah, so like I said, she's a very big, fun, cool, laid-back, quirky gearhead, but of course she has a lot of goals and a lot of like things that she needs to do in order to make all these people like look up to her and everything. So personally, I love this character so much. I really do like it. I really do love her. When she gets drawn, I'm eventually probably going to change up her ponytail, make it a lot more bushier and a lot more longer, because I like the main part of it, but I don't like the ponytail that much. I liked it because it was a side ponytail, and I want to give that to one of my characters. But aside from that, I want to be able to change that. I think other than that, I do like her design nonetheless. But all right, guys. So this should be the end of the showcase and background for Maeko. If you all did like the background for Maeko and the showcase that you're seeing right now, then be sure to hit that like button, comment down below as well your thoughts on the character, and of course, if you're new to the channel, then be sure to hit that sub button if you're liking the content that you see. It would be very much appreciated. With all that being said, guys, thank you all very much for watching the showcase background, and I will see you all in the next one. Farewell.